huge smile on his face all day. I mean, it's obviously a huge breakthrough for him.
Absolutely, and the thing is, he has a long history in the game, and one of the things he was talking about is, I spent some time with the Belgian and Dutch players at the Beach House earlier in the week. Mark Dictus, who is now 41, one of the oldest pros on the tour, and he was saying, I've been playing for 15 years, and in 2010, I'm a pro for the first time. And Guillaume was saying, I've devoted so much of my life to Magic, and I've never really cracked it. I've always felt like I've had the chance to crack it, and I've just never quite managed it. But now here I am, and and he felt from very early as well, very early Friday morning, he said, I think I really do have the deck. And when he got back to his Rogue Master deck, in Block Constructed, having gone 5-1 in draft, there was no stopping him at all. He knew he was coming to Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, this is a man who confidently passed the Gideon.
Yeah, indeed. But then, you feel that your 2 Eldrazi conscriptions you've started off with might get the job done somewhere.
Right.
We can but hope. So he is through. Brad Nelson is gone. The Black Splash for Essence Feed Dread Drone did not happen. The Triple Ray Bombardment did not happen.
There is no Pimp Cane in the Pro Tour's future here, unfortunately.
So the last champion, Grand Prix Washington winner last week, Brad Nelson, will not repeat here. He will, however, take home a sizable check and a sizable number of pro points. 12 for him, 16 at least for Matignon. So let's take you to the back table, and this is Table D. This is Jeremy Neiman. There you see him shuffling up for Game 4 of his match. This likeable Australian, third Australian to make the top 8 of a Pro Tour. 21-year-old, 23 lifetime pro points, 5-1 in draft, won a PTQ in Canberra, and that's his hometown, so he didn't even have to go very far, because generally, if it's not your hometown, you have to go very far for an Australian PTQ.
If you go across or go around, either way, it's pretty long there.
Either way, it's pretty long.
He's got a couple of Nationals top 8s. 2 years running now, he's been in the top 8 of Australian Nationals.
That's right. Now his opponent, there you see on the screen in the green shirt, Noah Schwartz, 21 years old, won a Pro Tour qualifier in Detroit. A real tale of two cities, his weekend thus far. Let's talk about Block Constructed.
So, yeah, Noah's made a habit of borrowing decks and doing really well with them. He qualified for this event, actually getting a list for AJ Soccer, who's waving to us from the front row. And that deck did perform very well for him. He's a very well-networked player, and that's an important piece of the puzzle when you're trying to do well. There's people who really know what's going on. They've put a lot of work in. They've done the testing, and if you have access to those decks, that can be really a key component. And so he came to this event and went up to Zvi and said, "Look, I've got peeled grapes for you for life if you give me this list." I will peel your grapes. I will mix your martinis. What do you need?
And as you say, when you are around the best players, you can't help but learn. When you've got AJ Saka sitting on one side, you've got Brian Kibler behind you talking about a match that they're watching on screen, and then on your left you've got a Jerry Thompson. If you've got ears, somewhere along the line, you learn some stuff.
Hopefully.
Well, we try. So, what does that shirt actually say? Real men
knit.
Knit.
Yes.
Do they?
Obviously.
Ah, okay.
No one's very literal. I mean, what he says is fact.
You live and learn.
Okay.
Rashad Miller crochets, which explains a lot. So here we go.
Yep.
And we are underway with Noah, the first man onto the board.
Look at Jeremy's mana for this deck. He's 8 forests, 2 island, 5 mountains, 2 swamps. He only has 1 evolving wild. Yeah, and his mana fixing is basically 1 evolving wild, 1 growth spasm. So he does not have a lot of fixing. He was really surprised that none of the green cards were coming back around for him.
That looks like a Beast Breaker of Balaget has opened up for Jeremy.
He does have 2 of those.
Yep. Indeed he does, and a pair of Aura-Nalids. And we can hear that Kotaro Otsuka has the Calastria Blood Chief online. So the 2 swamps, the 2 evolving wilds, and the Prophetic Prism have got there for his Black Splash. And I imagine that is a lot of trouble for Girola with his green-red. Kill it now.
Get a survival cache for Noah. Draws a card, gains 2 life.
And then maybe does it again on the rebound. Maybe.
Yeah, yes, he will.
18.
Now it's going to go to 18, then he'll go back up to 20 when the survival cache boing's back.
So Noah's been playing forever. April 2000 was his debut on the old JSS, as it was. So you can imagine he was pretty young then. He was just 11 years old when he started playing the game competitively. So we've talked about the block constructor deck, how amazingly he did with that, and the draft not so much. 2 and 4.
He started off pretty well. He went 2-1 on day 1 in draft, but interestingly, trying to draft blue-white levelers on day 2, he ended up going 0-3. And I was talking to him before the draft. Z and John Pickle were both sort of urging him to try the blue-white strategy for the top 8, and he said, but I 0-3'd, with my last blue-white draft deck. And he's like, no, you just missed. I mean, the cards weren't there for you. That looks like a Dawn-Claire Invoker.
Yep, to go alongside the Champion's Drake as a 1-1. And you see a hand Smite, Guard Duty, and as we suspected, Kalastri Bloodchief, quite good, means that we are heading for a Game 5 in Giarola against Kataru Otsuka.
I see a Smite on the fatty. And an Aura Gnarlid.
And an Umbra to go with it. And that is potentially very significant, because that can get out of hand very quickly. It seems such an innocuous card on its own, Aura Gnarlid. You stick a number on it, and boy, it's a problem.
I think it's going to pick up another Aura pretty quickly here.
Yep.
It sounds like it's going to get a Guard Duty. And all those Umbras are also +2/+2 for it.
Yep.
Because it gets a bonus for each Aura.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of people screw up that math.
3 cards? 4 cards.
Yeah, as you say, there's going to be another Aura coming into play in the very near future. But Guard Duty is not one that Nima really wants to see.
He's got a Hyena Umbra.
Oh, sorry. This is really awkward.
Put a Hyena Umbra on his Dawn-Claire Invoker.
Is that alright? Can you take that back? Is that alright? Can you take it back? He turned his creature sideways and he said, oh, sorry, and attacked him again.
He turned his man sideways.
Turned his creature sideways to attack.
Look at that.
So it looks like we're just having a little chat with the judge on hand, just clarifying something for the players.
I am not playing so well today. Anyway. Yeah. Top 8 gets you nervous, right? I'm going to guard you to your guys. Got it.
Paolo and Josh are getting a little bit bogged down again in Game 2. Still looks like the edge is to Paolo.
I guess the argument there was a Spider Umbra, so he's able to block flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Noah seems to have caught himself in time there and put the Guard Duty on. So it's a pretty giant defender that can block flyers at the moment.
Yeah.
And Halimar Wave Watch
Level push.
quickly picks up
Good.
2 levels.
Yeah,
That's a 6/6 next turn.
I do believe that
he
Aura
wants to
Gnarlid will not be doing anything other than defending, because it looks like, unless Neiman's sideboarded something in, I do not believe he has any way to get rid of that Guard Duty. So that may well be there for some time in its current sitting back incarnation. Like the flavor text on Guard Duty. Do I look standard to you? Oh, you look block constructed to me. There you see 3 cards. Looks like a Drake Umbra.
Escape Null.
Level.
That turns out to be surprisingly irritating to play against. It's one of the more irritating 1/2s. Still tied all over as they kill your guy and gain 6 life.
Here comes a 6/6. Now, Noah's 1 mana away from being able to activate his Dawn-Claire Invoker.
No. No attacks.
That gets pretty exciting pretty quickly.
So he's got a 4/4 flyer. He's got a 3/2 for a striking flyer, and he's got a 6/6 Island Walker.
Sure.
So a reminder that Guillaume Matignon is the current only semi-finalist for Pro Tour San Juan. He swept Brad Nelson 3-0. Matignon advances.
Noah's making a good case for getting there, though.
And Matignon will face the winner of Andrea Giarola and Kotaro Otsuka. They are currently tied at 2 each. We will bring you their Game 5. So Italian and Japanese fans around the world, stick with us. We will not leave you wanting. You will see their decider.
Mana number 8.
Noah passes. 20 to 18. Swartz needing just one more to cross the line. The winner of this one will face the winner of Paola Vida Dama de Rosa and Josh Adelaton, and they are in game 2 right now with a lot of permanents in play. There are plenty of tokens on both sides of the board. Paolo has been pretty dominant in the game so far, but Josh continues to put up a stern resistance and leads by 1-0.
Declare taps. I'll tap all your
Neiman needs 2 answers for that Dawnglare Invoker.
Well, let's see as we look down his list. There's a Brimstone Mage which could eventually come online. There's a Spawning Breath. There's a Heat Ray. There's a Vendetta. That's what he's looking for.
That's best. Sure.
It's interesting, Noah did that in his opponent's attack step. Didn't want to wait until end of turn. Gives Jeremy an opportunity to make a blocker with the growth spasm. I mean, Noah's at a full 20. He can afford to take, you know, essentially 2 points from the escape dome. 1 point of damage, 1 point of life gain.
Yeah. A little bit of swing.
But I don't think that Spore Cap Spider was going to be attacking. So now he's just sort of
Back and forth. Shuffle it up.
made his work a little bit harder.
So there is Neiman, trying to stay alive, 2-1 down, facing the Dawnglare Invoker. We'll tap everything inside as and when Noah feels the need.
Third attackers.
And Noah sends into the zone.
He has an block. That's
Blocks the wave watch with that growth spasm token. Oh, but it has Island Walk, and there is an island in play.
Indeed there is.
Growth spasm for
So there'll be none of that.
And growth spasm for the island. That seems
Curious. So Neiman is looking at Vendetta and Drake Umbra. Those are the 2 cards that he is flicking between.
it's gonna
It's after the
deal with the Dawnglare Invoker
armor
once.
falls off that he takes the damage, right?
And now here is the classic rules question.
Vendetta, he
We're
takes
going to
1
discuss
instead of Q,
what
because
the
it's
life
after the
goes
armor.
with an Invoker and a Totem. Now the fact is, something the DCI did that was new for this Pro Tour is they actually produced an FAQ for all the players in all the languages. So if you were Japanese, isn't that great? So if you were Japanese, you could come and get the rules FAQ, and they went out of their way to think about possible interactions in block. And one of them was Vendetta with the Aura. And it turns out that what happens is the life loss is taken once the aura's gone away. So if it was +1/+1, you don't take that extra point, is the way it works. And as I say, 396 players got that piece of paper. At least 395 of them may have read it. Noah Swartz apparently did not. But that's how that goes. So now another 2 Umbras now in Neiman's hand. A bit of Drake and Snake going on.
And he extends the hand.
He
Noah
does,
Swartz
he cannot do it.
goes to the semifinals.
So Noah Swartz is through
board in.
from the United States by 3 games to 1 over the all colours but white Australian deck of Jeremy Neiman. The 2 Aura Knowledge were not enough when that guard duty came down. That was not sufficient. So we are going to head across.
Drafted that and picked I hate drafted an Invader over a Demystify, thinking I had a Demystify.
Let's see if
and they get to my
Dran is
sideboard and I
enough.
don't
Splash
have one.
Dran is enough to get into the
I thought
semifinals.
so dumb.
So we're going to take you across to the match between Kotaro Otsuka of Japan and his Italian opponent, Andrea Giarola. They are tied at 2 games each in this one. Giarola playing green-red and Kotaro Otsuka playing blue-white with a little black splash. So that is the matchup that we are going to face at Game 5 in. We've held that for you, so you're not missing anything as we speak. Neiman and Swartz seem like they had a pretty friendly game, plenty of chat. Paolo and Josh pretty reticent. Incidentally, their Game 2 is finished. We will find out what happened there. As I say, Paolo was ahead pretty much throughout that.
It looks like that match is tied 1-1.
And it is indeed 1 game all in that one. So there you see on your screen in the pink shirt, Kotaro Otsuka of Japan, 155 lifetime pro points for this very experienced level 6 pro from Sagamihara. I hope I got that right, Japanese viewers. We do the best we can for you. And he is facing Andrea Giarola, who has just started out. There you see him, just 18, turned 18 at the player party. A pretty nice place to celebrate your 18th birthday. Player party for your first Pro Tour.
Yeah, I mean, a Pro Tour for your birthday would be pretty exciting.
Happy birthday, son. Or happy birthday, me, more to the point, I would imagine. So he won the PDQ at Worlds in Rome.
An enormous PTQ, it should be pointed out.
Yeah, super huge. That's one of the things that starts at 8 in the morning and finishes at 11 at night, one of those.
Right.
So the players are into Game 5, and we see Mountain and Forest for Giarola.
Looks like a Nest Invader? Or is that an overgrown battle?
I think that'll be Battlement, because there's no token there at the moment by the looks of things. It's overgrown Battlement.
Oh, there's Halamar Wavewatch. We just saw him in the other match.
Been quite good, it turns out.
I think that's easily of the blue common levelers, just my favorite. Oh, there's a Rage Nimbus.
Yep, so here's acceleration for the Italian. He goes 3 plus the overgrown battlement. That makes 4 Rage Nimbus. This is the 5/3 flying defender that can force creatures to attack, to suicide in. So that was the rare and one of the only.
Also, as a defender, it ramps up his overgrown battlement's mana, so he has now access to 5 mana as it stands next turn. 6
Plus
mana.
land with the 6, yeah.
Yep.
So a pretty decent start for Giarola.
As far as walls go.
But that's the thing, though. Walls are sexy right now.
Yeah, it is a real strategy in draft. And that is a Kozilek's Predator.
So tons more mana.
Oh, that was not. I'm sorry, that was not a Rage Nimbus. That was. Okay, let me look at his deck. That
Battle
was
Rampart, was it?
No. That was.
Soul Surge Elemental. Right, so that's at least the tokens are good news there, because that will increase the power count on the Soul Surge Elemental. X1 first strike, where X is the number of creatures you control.
That would be 5.
Yep, so that's pretty big.
Yep.
5/1 first striker right now.
That changes everything. It's actually probably a little happier with the Elemental.
Yeah. But the Chariot that he has in his deck, whether or not it goes onto a wall or not, still gives +2/+2.
Okay, we got an Eland Umbra, +0/+4 on a 0/6 Halamar Wavewatch. So
I really don't want that to die to damage, he's basically saying. So we see a Heat Ray going through the flicking cards for Andrea.
oh, is that actually, that may have been on Luminous Wake? Sorry, that was not an Eland Umbra.
We're
It's
just checking
so
through
whenever it
the
attacks or blocks,
Game 4.
he gains 4. And gain 4 here. There's a Wild Heart Invoker.
Popular card, 4/3, +5/+5.
So like you said, even at oh, and there's the Drana.
Oh, boom. A mighty rare.
Yeah, and a mighty common coming up.
Yep.
The Heat Ray.
X to you.
I gotta tell you, I'm not unhappy to see a Drana die.
No. No, it's like I know you played some multiplayer during the week. You played some EDX with Rashard Miller, and there was a lot of strange green shenanigans going on, and you wouldn't have been sad to see a Rashard Miller die.
No, I would not have.
No. So Heat Ray for the completely unfair Blood Chief, that goes away and makes the game a little bit more normal.
A little bit.
We will be heading back at the conclusion of this match to Palavida Dharmadorosa against Josh Utterlayton. They are tied at 1 game each, so they are now into the best of 3. They're early in their game 3. Not much going on in the opening exchanges there.
One of Josh's Brood Warden took a vendetta.
Yeah, kick in the teeth for both there. So Guitar Otsuka is down to 9. Giarola's still back up at 20. And it's looking like a pretty lonely board for the Japanese player right now. So counter goes on for Otsuka. Now he has a little bit more.
I believe that's actually a Mammoth Umbra on the... Oh, and there's a Battle Rattle Shaman.
So when we go into attack, someone will get +2/+0.
Possibly a token.
Seems like a pretty good use. So hard to evaluate when those tokens are threats and when they're mana threats and when they're